After 2 long decades of the last time we saw the Nissan Silvia, we have confirmation that the Silvia is in the early stages of production by Nissan. And we're going to get into it, but it's not what you think, or if not, what you fans would hope to see in a new Nissan Silvia. But yet again, we are in the early stages as things can change, but we got all the info coming out right now. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy Javi here, bringing you another auto tech video. And in today's video, we're going to be covering everything about the Nissan Silvia. And if you guys are enjoying the content, remember to smash that like button, the thumbs up, and the subscribe button for your boy. We're almost at 15,000 subscribers. So a few nameplates have kind of put their mark in the automotive history. And one of those is Nissan Silvia, what I would say is the Drift King. We all grew up loving the JDM side of the automotive industry. And Nissan Silvia was definitely one of those cars that was always up top. Why? Because they pretty much could hold any swap you could throw at it. The V8, the V6s, the RBs, any RBs you could throw at it, it could pretty much hold it. Even a K20 you could pretty much put in there. It holds pretty much anything. And to some people, they might say it is probably the best drift body or the best drift model vehicle ever made. Well, as a fan of Silvia, because I do like the Silvias and I do like the 180s and the 240s, and it's been a name that across the board has changed. We officially have confirmation from Ivan Espinosa. And who is Ivan Espinosa? He is the Vice President of Global Product Strategy. And he says that the Nissan Silvia is in the early stages of development. As the affordable and small sports car market tears to the brink of extinction, the Silvia is hopefully here to save it, but it will be right below the Z, the 400Z that we see now. We have the article and we're going to get into it. Being in the early stages of development, though, official details are kind of yet still unknown. There are renders. We can see this render here made by Motor One, but Nissan has dropped enough hints throughout the year for us to compile this video and give you guys official info from Nissan itself. So the car is going to sit anywhere under the Z, and it's going to have a hybrid engine. One of the things that they're tinkering with is a hybrid engine. Now, are we going to be able to see this Nissan Silvia kind of have all the swap motors and things like that from before? And is the Silvia name going to be only for Japan and give different names across the board for like Europe and USA? They're even thinking about the US name would be ZX branding, which would be completely different, but hopefully it keeps the name stateside, and like that we have the Silvia. So let's get into a little bit on the article. So let's talk about powertrain and some of the info that we have on powertrain. We've already mentioned that electrical motors, and primarily because Nissan is already pointing towards the electrified powertrain. That doesn't necessarily mean that Nissan will be full EV, but electricity will be part in the major role of this vehicle's future. Details like power output, range are pure speculations at this point. We obviously don't know. What we do know that it's going to be somewhere under 300 horsepower with a hybrid engine. Something electricity is going to be combined in there. It's going to be interesting to see what they bring out with this vehicle. So there are obviously speculations at this point, but Nissan hopes to slot the car between the sports car below the Z and not expecting anything radical from this vehicle. So this is going to be your normal base car. I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday, and he said this is the next Nissan Sentra, and you're kind of like, you're not that far off. So the new Nissan Silvia will probably have less than 300 horsepower. If Nissan decides to go full EV, it will likely mean a single electric motor. But there's a chance that Nissan goes after the Toyota 86 and the Subaru BRZ with a small combustion power engine with some form of hybrid assistant, which that would also put it in a good competition with the upcoming Honda Prelude. But then again, we know that the Honda Prelude is complete hybrid. As of now, we've heard it's hybrid. But if Nissan decides to go after the Toyota 86 and the Subaru BR6, I could probably tell you this car is going to get a lot of sales. And I think that's for sure. It's going to get a lot of sales with a good small combustible engine. And not only that, you have to throw in the mix. You have the Corolla GR, and then you have the Civic Type R. But then again, it's going to be under 300 horsepower. It's all speculation right now, and this is just me kind of wording out my opinion. But if you get a small combustible engine with the help of a hybrid engine, and you can't make close to 300 or 300, this would be an amazing fun car. So obviously the renders up here are made by Motor One. This is what would be the Nismo version. We can see like the exhaust on the side. So this would actually be pretty cool. So When will it debut? So the interview with Espinosa mentioned that something for the Silvia could be coming in at the end of the decade. So with 2025 obviously getting close to it, we could probably start seeing prototypes being tested with the camera wrap by 2026. And they're hoping that the debut will be for like 2028 or perhaps 2029. So we're still a bit far away. Of course, Ivan says that it all depends on the development process. As we've seen repeatedly with Nissan over the years, development can move at a snail pace. We forget that the GTR and the 370C had lifetime stretchings well over a decade when it came to testing and pretty much building this car from the ground up, and then eventually we got it. So if it moves a little bit quicker, we're hoping to see probably testing being done by 2026, and obviously we'll be here to cover it with the camera wrap, and we'll start seeing what it might look like. So what will it cost? Sticking to the classic Nissan heritage, the Nissan Silvia will need a slot between the current Z that starts at $42,000, not including obviously destination charges. Moreover, the least expensive Nissan EV, which is the Leaf, that's $28,000. So we're looking at a price of anywhere between $42,000 to $28,000. I'll tell you this, and I'll give you my personal opinion. If you're bringing in this vehicle with a small combustion engine, with a small ICE engine, and then you pair it up with a hybrid engine, and you're making a decent amount of power that is fun, it's a good car to go to the track, it's a good daily driver, and you're in between $37,000, $28,000, you're in between, you're gonna get a lot of sales for this vehicle. Nissan has a huge fan base. The GTR is pretty much dead. The GTR is now going on a long break until the next one that we're gonna get, and hopefully we don't get an electrified Nissan GTR or a hybrid GTR, which we might, because Nissan is definitely moving towards electricity, and we might get the next GTR as electricity. So if you're bringing in something for the meantime that the GTR is dead or is taking this break, and you're in between 28, 27, 35, $36,000, I think you're gonna get a little bit of a hit with this car. I think this car is gonna do well. So if the new Nissan Silvia can either strike a balance between the two benchmark and the mid-30s, like I was saying, electrified sports cars could be the perfect sweet spot for the fun-hungry enthusiast on a budget. Absolutely, I also think so. But they forgot to mention, or they probably didn't mention, that yes, the GTR is obviously going on this long break until the next one comes around. Can this car replace it? Absolutely not, because we've seen what the GTR, I think that the GTR, it's been the best, fastest, overpowered car ever to be made. But this could be in the between, and I think so. So it's not really what you guys thought of. You know, we're getting a hybrid, most likely under 300 horsepower, low budget vehicle. Again, it could go against the Toyota 86, the BRZ, maybe even the Corolla GR, who knows, or the Civic Type R. But that's all yet to see. So I wanted to go over this picture here. So this is a picture from Motor One here. And obviously we can see that is the Nismo edition. That one, it actually looks pretty cool. I like the livery. It almost gives me that old Skyline vibe, like that old first Skyline vibes, and the Camaro and stuff like that. Like, it gives me those kind of vibes, the front end. So, and even the back end also gives me that kind of vibe. Now, I'm not sure about the side exhaust that they did here with this livery or this render, but I think it would be pretty cool. But for now, this is what we have. If you guys are enjoying the content, remember to tune in and subscribe. Your boy is out of here.